Good morning, January 7th, 2014. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about keeping your faith, keep going, don't give up. And especially for those of you who have been going through something hard for a long period of time. And I'm going to give myself as an example, and hopefully you'll be able to see yourself in that and be able to be encouraged with few of the things I will have to say. I still experience so many disgusting symptoms because of this thing that's going on and because of treatment and all that kind of stuff. Last night, for the first time, my kidneys began to hurt really, really bad. And I woke up in the middle of the night with that pain. And of course, it scares me. I'm thinking, oh, great, now kidney failure, that's not what I want. And I'm thinking, because of the strong antibiotics. So I immediately prayed over them. I felt them inflamed. And I just lay there on my stomach in bed, praying and thinking, well, we'll see in the morning what's going to happen. And I woke up in the morning and I was just fine. I had times when I was so weak and in so much pain, and then most of the time, I just go through it. All the time I pray, and I always seem to get a present, I call it, from God in a certain one way or another. It's small, you have to look for it, so I always pay attention. And I look for it, and then when I see it, I am so thankful for it, and I always thank Him for just giving me that present where I can hold on to it as I go through the process. So of course I'm praying for miracles, but so far I've had to walk the process, and He knows why, and I'm not gonna start asking questions about that because there's a reason behind it, and I'll probably see it later on when I'll feel better. But for you who's having a hard time and just feels like you take 2 steps forward and then you're just knocked backwards, keep your faith. And just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean that what you're speaking, and if you're speaking health and peace and prosperity in marriage, or in the relationship in between you and your children or siblings, or health-wise, or stress in financial situations. There's so many reasons to be distressed. Keep on going. And why? It's because we all feel like, not that, not necessarily like giving up. I do feel like giving up sometimes, but I feel like, is God listening? Because I've been praying for this long, and I've been waiting for this long, and is He listening? And especially when I feel really bad, I'm like, okay, God, right now would be a really good time to just do a miracle, so I just totally can get up and shake this pain off of me once and for all and move on with my life and never look back. I don't think God wants us to never look back. When it comes to the lessons that we learn, we're in the midst of pain. He wants us to forget the pain, but not the lesson. So the best lessons are taught through in the midst of the desert, and the ones that stick the closest with us are taught during that time. So He does not want us to forget the lessons when we are feeling well. And how in the world are we going to learn certain lessons if we don't go through, I guess, the hard things? So that being said, I still continue to encourage you to just lean on God and use your faith. Just like you would lean if you lean back in a chair or on a sofa. Like right now I'm leaning back on the sofa, so my body is not tense because it's trusting that the sofa is gonna hold me. in this position for as long as I want to stay here, so I don't have to put that effort or have anxiety that is gonna fall or break apart and I'm gonna be in danger. It's the same way with God. So don't give up and push through, even though the temptation is there. Another thing that I've noticed is, maybe I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it's there's so many discouragements coming through almost the news that I see around, of both on a personal level and on a general level, what's happening in the health, people hurting and people suffering. And we just found out yesterday that my father-in-law's, one of his sister, and actually the sister that he really had a strong connection with, and they were close to each other, and they just had a connection, she died. And it was because she really suffered. She had cancer in the breast and had those removed, and chemo, and so it was, years and years of just pain. And due to that, she became anxious of all this pain, so she needed help in that regard. And the doctors put her on, I think it's Benes, I'm not sure, but it starts with the B, and it's one of these antipsychotic drugs, and like Xanax, I guess that's a big one. But it's in that family group that I guess it's really hard to detox from it or to stop taking it. And so anyway, as a result of that, she died yesterday. And how cruel, just to have to suffer and die from the results of a drug that was put on the market supposedly to help. But if you really look into this, these only help for the moment, and then they get you addicted and they turn you into a victim. And so that being said, like I said, there's a lot of people in pain, so just keep your faith, keep fighting, keep believing tomorrow is going to be a better day. And the verse that I'm going to read is from Galatians 2:20, that it says, "My old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. So I live in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." Have a great rest of the day, and hopefully this was able to help you, and we'll talk to you later.